A Brighter Sun, Chapter 12. Pre-censorship of papers of passengers traveling to England from Trinidad ceased in January 1945, and it was announced by the government that identity cards were no longer necessary. The next month, the Home Guard was disbanded, and those who were in it held parties in the restaurants and got drunk, and one man was run over by an American truck in Park Street. Gradually, restrictive legislation slackened. VE and VJ Day celebrations were marked by patriotic demonstrations and wild merriment. Steel bands, growing in the war years, took to the streets for the first time, and pandemonium reigned, as Trinidadians were allowed to indulge in 2 days of carnival, an annual festival which was held up when war broke out. There were fights between civilians and service personnel, and steel bands clashed, pelting bottles and stones and wielding sticks. Later on in the year, censorship was stopped altogether, motorcar zoning abolished, and restaurants were allowed to serve meals late in the evening. In the sugar and oil industries, wage agreements were signed, but many people were still out of work, and laborers marched in the streets with placards, and a delegation visited the governor seeking relief. The legislature adopted a motion providing for increased benefits under the Workmen's Compensation Ordinance. In San Fernando, a man appeared in court and registered his 145th conviction in 3 years. He had jacked up a car parked in front of a cinema and stolen the tires. A Pan American seaplane crashed, and 23 out of 30 passengers were drowned. The report of the West Indies Royal Commission was released for publication. The demand for copies was 5 times greater than the quantity available. The cost of living rose to 200 points, and it was a difficult thing to get butter and saltfish in the shops. The morning of the day peace was officially announced, radio said that the Prime Minister of England would make a definite statement in the evening, but nobody waited for it. Steel band players east of the Dry River tuned their pans and drums, people rushed excitedly about the streets, and Joe Martin dashed to Barataria. "All you hear what happened? Peace declare! No more war! Oh lordy oi! Is fire in town tonight! Big fet all over the place! Me? I going back now, girl. Put some food on the table there for me, right away. Steel band will make ruction in town tonight. Come, do quick. Don't stand up there looking at me so. If you're coming to town, look out for fight. Which part you hide the rum? Call Tiger and Ermila let with fire one. Oh God, is fire in town. Do quick, girl. Do quick. Tiger, Tiger, Boise called. You're not going to town. Come and go with me, man. I hear fet for so in town. Man, peace declare. No more war. Wait for me. Come inside and sit down, Tiger said and hurried to dress. Every time you're going to town, I'm asking you to carry me go with you, and you're saying no, Ermila said. Well, carry me now. I want to see celebrations too. Look, girl, if I carry you, it go be trouble, man. I go have to look out for you. Not today. You don't hear people gone mad in town. Not today, man. Really. If you want, go with Rita. Man, Rita have she own friend in town. I don't want to humbug she. Well, stay with Chandra then. Cook dinner for you? She called as she went out with Boise. Yes, he flung his shoulder. But I don't know when I'm coming back. The streets were jammed with bands of masqueraders dressed in old costumes which had been put away for the war. Crowds jumped up to the music of steel orchestras, and everywhere there was gaiety and song and laughter and shouting and yelling. It did not take them very long to get drunk and join the revelry. They pulled their shirts out of their trousers and clasped each other round the waist and jumped in the band. Suddenly, Boise shouted, Look, Joe band! Look! Joe there, beating the ping pong! Let her go in the band, man! They ran across the road and waited for the band to come nearer. They screamed, "Joe! Joe!" But it was impossible for him to hear them in the din. Joe was having the time of his life. It was his first public appearance as a steel band player, and he was pounding out calypsos and shaking his body to the rhythm. Seasons come and go quickly in Trinidad, but always the sun shines and the birds sing and the flowers bloom, and the wind blows down from the northern range to cool the land. The house was almost completed, and Tiger gave Ermila money and told her to buy what she wanted to furnish it. She and Rita went to town on a spending spree. Boise had booked passage for New York, and one morning he met Tiger in Tallboy's shop and showed him the passport. "So you really going in Boise? You make up your mind? You live in Trinidad?" "Yes, boy. This land too hard. Plenty money in the States. If ever I come back, I go be a rich man. But how about you, Tiger? What you doing these days? You working yet? The house finished building?" "I might get a job in the railways in Port of Spain where Joe working. He tell me to get and see the foreman, but I ain't gone yet." "Well, have a drink with me now, if you're not too busy. Let me sit down here and talk. Why you don't go away too? Ain't you have money?" "Or you want me to leave my wife and child and house and go away just so?" "Man, you could send them chaguanas. You could sell the house and the cow and go away and study and come back lawyer." "The way you say it sound easy. And to tell the truth, boy, it have a time when I was thinking of doing that, yes. But it have plenty other things to think about, boysy. A man just can't take up himself and go do this and do that. If I stop to think too much, I bet you I don't go no place. But you have to take chances in life sometimes. Look at me. I don't know what I'm going into, but I'm still going." "Yes, but you ain't have no family to bother about. You're on your own. You could do what you like. It's different with me. I ain't always a man does be able to do the things he want to do. It's when the boat's sailing. If I have time, I could come and see you on board. It's next week Monday. I could pass round by you when I'm ready to go, and we could go downtown together. Listen, man, what you doing tonight?" "Nothing much." "Well, how about dropping round by me? Couple of the boys coming, and we're having a little party. It's freeness." "How about what time, so?" "Anytime after dinner, man. I'm looking out for you." Sunlight glared on the asphalt of the highway. Waves of heat rose and shimmered, and he walked on the grass at the side, for the road was too hot. He called out to the farmers, "Rajnath, how the rice field going?" "Hey, Tiger, I hear you was drunk in town the other day." "What how you mean? Peace declare, I must get drunk." "But things still hard to get in the shop. Prices still high." "You can't expect everything to come back as it was so quick, man. It will take long time." Afterwards, thinking of his remarks as cars whizzed past and put wind on his face, it seemed to him as if he was always saying the same things, asking the same questions. "What happening, dear boy? Is all right. How you? How the garden going?" There was too much of this sameness all over, in the gardens, in the shops, in the village streets. What difference did anything make? It seemed no one knew that a battle had been won, that peace had been declared. They still went to work in the fields, the sun still shone, Tallboy's shop was still there. They said the same things over and over, day after day. He would go home and Ermila would show him the furniture she bought. They would eat dinner, he would sit and read, or they would talk old things. Plenty things happened, but nothing new. The story he had written about the highway he had posted to the Trinidad Guardian short story contest. He hadn't got a reply yet. Not that he expected any success. He just posted it because he felt all his labor would have been in vain if someone else didn't see it. Only for Boise things would be new. Going to a big country where the houses so high you can't see the tops, and they have trains that does run under the ground. One city alone so big you could lose the whole of Trinidad in it. He considered going back to the cane fields in Chaguanas, but the thought of it made him laugh aloud. He broke a blade of grass and put it in his mouth. Overhead, a cloud fled the sun, moving in a swift breeze. "Now is a good time to plant corn," he muttered, gazing up at the sky. End of A Brighter Sun.